What's going on, guys? Welcome to Titan Town. Today I'm going to be talking about some players that the Titans can still add to the roster to make some improvements. Some of these players may be left on the open market, and some of them may be get traded from their current teams or cut when the roster cuts come around later on in the year, maybe late August. They might get cut, and we can pick them up. John Robinson has always talked about he works year round looking to improve this roster. If you follow my blog, I did publish an article about this maybe a week ago or maybe a couple of days ago or so. But like I said before in the past with the blog, I do have more time to write that than I do to get on here and do these videos because I got kids running around and it's hard to get quiet time. I'll leave links to that blog in the description box below if you guys want to follow that. So let's dive into this and let's talk about some players. You're going to see a lot of similarities from the article I wrote from the blog. I'm going to dive into that and then expand upon it. So let's go ahead and get started. The first player that I had written in the article and the first player I'm going to mention here is Mario Williams, former first overall pick by the Houston Texans. He plays the edge rusher position. He's been in the league now for over 10 years. I think this is his 11th year. He was drafted in 2006. But he could come in. He's not the player he used to be. He could learn the system. He could play a good rotational role. We definitely need some depth at that edge rusher position. The only problem with this is, and which makes it unlikely, is because everywhere he goes, he seems to have locker room issues. And one of the biggest things the Titans preach around here is you've got to have a team first mentality to stick around or you're not going to stick. So Mario Williams is a possibility, but not likely. The next one's very controversial, and it wasn't in the article I written. Some of you may hate it. Some of you may think it's a little bit funny or goofy, and some of you might actually like the idea. But Dorial Green-Beckham, who just got cut by the Eagles, he went unclaimed on wires on the waiver wire. We could certainly pick him up for very cheap, a lot cheaper than what his rookie contract was, possibly. And I'm surprised he went unclaimed on waivers because he is a young, raw player with a lot of potential and a lot of upside. Imagine this. This Titans team is already, on paper, one of the best red zone teams in the league. Imagine this. What if we signed Dorial Green-Beckham? Now we have, starting off, we have Marcus Mariota, it's not arguable anymore, the best red zone quarterback in the league. We have Derrick Henry, a big, huge bruising back. We have DeMarco Murray, big back, very shifty, good agility with his feet, very elusive. And then we have Eric Decker, another good, very good red zone target. We have Delanie Walker, a very athletic tight end. He's very fast. He's a mismatch for defenses. We have Corey Davis, a very tall receiver. This is his rookie year. We don't know what he's going to do yet. But then we also have Dorial Green-Beckham, very big receiver. He's 6'5". I don't know exactly what he weighs now. At one time he was 237 pounds, but very big-bodied, big receiver. I mean, how do you stop that in the red zone? You could tell Dorial Green-Beckham, we're going to throw it up high, you out-jump your guy, and you get it. You hand it off to Derrick Henry, let him bust his way up there. Hand it off to DeMarco Murray, let him use his power and shiftiness to get it up in there. Have Delanie Walker beat his man to the spot. Throw it over to Eric Decker, let him do what he does. Marcus Mariota is a very smart quarterback, very accurate with the football. He'll get it in there, he'll make it happen because the defenses are not going to be able to stop everybody that we have on the offense. And again, even without Dorial Green-Beckham, it's still going to be very hard with Eric Decker, both of our running backs, and Delanie Walker and Corey Davis. It's still going to be very hard. Moving right along, another player that we could certainly add, another former Titan, Alteron Werner. Alteron played really good here in Tennessee. He even made a Pro Bowl. I think there was a little bit of controversy on his way out. I think some feelings got hurt. I'm not exactly sure what exactly happened. This was before that I really kept. I've always cheered for the Titans. I've always liked the Titans, but before, back when all this was going on, I just watched the games. I didn't really keep up with the roster and the team's news. I was what you would call a casual fan, I guess. But Alteron Werner played great here in Tennessee. He was one of my favorite Titans at the time. He even made a Pro Bowl, and then he gets to Tampa Bay and he plays horribly. He's still looking for a job. Maybe he just needs to come back home. I'm sure he could fit in Dick LeBeau's offense or defense. I'm sorry, but think about this. I mean, Logan Ryan, cornerback 1. LaShawn Sims, cornerback 2, Adoree Jackson, cornerback 3, and then you have Alteron Verner and Bryce McCain competing for that 4th and 5th spot. That's a solid cornerback depth. Now, Alteron Verner could come in and get back to his old self again and play possibly even cornerback 1 and have Logan Ryan slide to cornerback 2, or at the very least come in and get back to cornerback 2. If he comes in and finds his old self again, that would, he could have another Pro Bowl year. It's not likely, but it is possible. He's still in the prime of his career at 28 years old. So moving right along, another one who just come out of retirement and is still very young is Zachary Orr. He does basically the same thing that Avery Williamson does, but he's a very solid and good player, just like Avery is. And if you could get him for the right price, I mean, why not? I mean, our inside linebacker group is pretty stacked right now. We have Avery Williamson, one of the best run stuffers in the league. I think PFF had him as the best run stuffing middle linebacker in the league. We have Wesley Woodyard, who had a very solid season for us last year. He really stepped his game up last season. Nate Palmer, he's really come on in OTAs and minicamp and all that. Coaches have been really bragging about him. He's really shown his athleticism to this point. Said something that's something he's been working on during the offseason. We added Jayon Brown through the draft, and hopefully he can come in and be a cover man on some of these tight ends and running backs that we've had so much trouble with covering in the passing game last season. So Zachary Orr, it'd be hard to find him a spot, but if you get it for the right price, I mean, why not? That would keep him from Indianapolis and the Houston Texans, who both have a need there as well. Another player on my list, this is one that we would have to trade for, and we've heard it talked about a lot, but it just makes a lot of sense, and that's Sheldon Richardson from the New York Jets. The Jets are asking way too much for him. Realistically, he's worth a third-round pick, maybe a second. I mean, pair him up. You have Casey and Arakpo on one side, Sheldon Richardson and Derek Morgan on the other side. That's a scary duo of edge rushers on each side. I mean, opposing quarterbacks might be better off just staying home when they have to play us. But that'd be a deadly duo. Really, really put pressure on quarterbacks with that duo. Make it really hard for opposing quarterbacks. That would take a lot of pressure off our secondary as well. Another player that we would have to trade for, but I think would make some sense, would be D'Angelo Hall. I'm sorry. I think we need another cover safety to pair back there with Kevin Byard. We signed Jonathan Cyprien, but he's more of a in-the-box safety. We need a safety who can come out there and rotate with him, or maybe play in the 3 safety sets, or just a rotational piece. We definitely need some leadership. We got a relatively young secondary besides for Bryce McCain. Everybody else is pretty young. Bring him in. He's got experience at the cornerback position and the safety position, so he could also be a security blanket if something really bad was to happen and injuries really stacked up at the cornerback position. We could plug and play him there as well. He would bring a certain veteran leadership into the locker room, and he shouldn't be worth more than maybe a 6th-round pick. He's at the very tail end of his career. Another one would be somebody who played for us last season. That's Rashad Johnson. And I'm thinking that maybe the Titans did try to re-sign him, but told him that, hey, this is going to be Kevin Byard's show now. They was going to kind of reverse the roles where they brought him in and said, hey, this is your year. And then kind of as the season went on, Kevin Byard started working his way on the field. And now they maybe told him that, hey, this is Kevin Byard's show now. We need you to come in and be a rotational player, be a mentor kind of guy. Maybe he didn't accept that. But anyways, guys, I'm trying to think. I am not using any notes. This is all right here off the top of my head. And let me make for sure real quickly before I go, make sure there isn't anybody that I'm forgetting or that I'm leaving out. Somebody important, somebody just like way obvious, because before, it was all in my head. And then I get on the camera. I get a little bit camera shy. I still haven't gotten over that yet. And I kind of just went blank. So let's look real quickly. I'm pulling up my blog post right here, actually, just to make for sure there isn't anybody that I have left off. I actually put Ladarius Webb in that blog post. I've seen where he had gotten cut. thought it made a lot of sense. I didn't realize that the Ravens did go ahead and re-sign him, but that's about it. DeAndre Levy, I think he's still on the open market. He could be a rotational player at the edge rusher position. He has a lot of talent, very, very talented edge rusher, but he's kind of like Jake Locker, I guess you would say, or Brian Orakpo of the past. He has a lot of trouble getting hurt, getting injured. Maybe that's what he needs to do, like Brian Orakpo did. Come to Tennessee and you'll get healthy. So if you're hearing this, DeAndre Levy, come to Tennessee and you'll get healthy and you'll make it through the season, unless you end up like Kevin Dodd, of course. Tramon Williams, another safety turned or another cornerback turned safety, who could bring a leadership role to the team, play a rotational way, play as a rotational player. And he's also on the open market, so it wouldn't cost us anything to get him. Some players who could possibly be traded, one more, and that is Michael Kendricks. He's a linebacker, inside linebacker. He's been on the trade block basically his whole career, but he's a talented inside linebacker. Like I said, we don't really need him. It kind of be like a luxury just to have him. So anyways, guys, that's the players that I think the Titans could still bring in and still offer a help and still improve this roster. If I left anybody out, comment below. If there's anything you want me to talk about, comment below, and I'll get you featured and shouted out on a video. I hope you guys have a great day, and remember to always stay tightened up.